Some people find it a little bit hard to believe that one man can carry everything he needs for a full month exploring really remote rivers in very isolated areas. And it isn't easy, but I'll show you what pops out of my pack here and lay it all out, and you can have a good look at some of the gear that I do carry. I use a Caragini pack. It's a good solid bit of gear, heavy duty canvas. First thing is, you're on a river, so you want to keep everything dry. And I use some Sea to Summit dry bags, which they seem to come in different thicknesses. They have thinner ones and they have some serious heavy duty ones. Give it 2 or 3 turns to make sure, and that can essentially float down the river without you and still stay pretty dry. To start with, we got a thing called a tarp poncho. It's basically a glorified raincoat, and if it's really torrentially pouring down and you're in the canoe or something, you can put that over yourself. The top and the bottom of the totally insect-proof garment that I got from a company called the Original Bug Shirt Company in Ontario, Canada, I believe. But yeah, it's got a bit of mesh and a bit of material, and the mosquitoes and the black flies and whatever else can't get to you. Lures and wire leader and hooks and whatnot in there. And piranhas. You don't want to be sticking your finger in the piranha's mouth to extract the hook, so you want to get a pair of fishing pliers, just a hand line, plastic hand line. Nobody uses rods and reels much in this part of the world. In South America as a whole, people fish with a hand line generally. You see these outdoors people and they've got this massive knife. That's all you need, really. Honestly, folks. I know it's a big macho thing to have the biggest knife around, but get a folding knife that locks, that has a sharp serrated blade, and there's not too much that you cannot do with that. So 3 bags. Camera bag, main backpack, food bag. Good idea with the compass to actually put it around your neck. Do not put it in your pocket or set it on the ground or lose it. A Kindle e-reader. Now see, this is the first time I've ever taken one of these on a trip. Kindle e-reader. I put about 10 books on there. I read 8.5 of them, and then the battery ran out, so I did pretty well. You always want to have at least 1 pair, preferably 2, of clean, dry clothing in the jungle. Do not keep putting on dry clothing every day. Put on the same old wet stuff you had on yesterday if you're going to be getting dirty and sweaty and wet and all of that, so that you have some clean, comfortable stuff to sleep in. And always bathe before you get in the hammock. Make sure you're as cooled off as you can get. I have to take malaria tablets, Malarone here in Guyana. I have to have water purification tablets, sufficient supply. And so that's my first aid kit here. We've got scissors and band-aids and repellents and antifungal creams and assorted pressure bandages. There's some ibuprofen in there. There's a bit of powdered antiseptic, some alcohol wipes. Never leave home without a good supply of toilet paper. That's got my spare tapes and my spare batteries for the camera. This is an interesting one. This is a Sea to Summit Event tag. And Event is a fabric that does a pretty amazing magical thing. It's waterproof from the outside, but you can actually compress the air out of it. So you put your clothing in there, squish all the air out to a nice small size, but it's still waterproof on the outside. That's the Solara Field Tracker 2100. It lets you text the folks back home, and they can, whenever they're at their computer, they can see your text, they can reply. The reply comes back to here, you check your text in the morning, and there it is. Iridium satellite telephone. Once you got the antenna out, and once again, you're in a clear area, you can make a call to any place on the planet. Doesn't really get all that cold in the tropics. I don't bring a sleeping bag, it's a bit of a waste of space. All I carry is a sleeping bag liner. This one's called Thermalite, I think, something like that. And yeah, it's basically a sort of a sheet with one end sewn up. And you just sort of pull that over yourself if it gets a little bit chilly about 4 or 5 in the morning. The camera that's pointing at my head at the moment is a Sony HVR-A1. It's pretty old. I've had it a few years now. Now I know my motto is one man, one camera, the most remote rivers on earth, but this trip, that's all out the window because there's two guys. There's me and the guide, Joe, the Makushi man, and I have two cameras this time. Now this is a what's called a GoPro Helmet Hero, I think, and it sits on your head like that. Or there's a few other little attachments you can sort of attach it, like with sticky stuff, to your boat or to whatever. I don't think I'll drink out of the water container just right this second. I'm not sure what it is, but something about this whole trip just smells fishy to me.